Hi everyone, and welcome to Tap Into Your Creativity. Today we have a really incredible guest artist. Her name is Natalie Dadamio, and she is joining us all the way from upstate New York. And I can't wait for you guys to meet Natalie. She is, hi Sally. She is, hi everyone, thank you so much for being here. Hi pretty. I think it says, yeah. So we're just waiting for Natalie to join us. Hopefully she will pretty soon here. She is an incredible human being. You will get to meet her. Hi Shabana. Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining. So we're just waiting for Natalie to join us. So Natalie, if you're out there, hopefully you can see me and you will join. Thank you so much. I enjoy everyone coming in as much as you do watching these interviews. These are just incredible. And Natalie is, oh, and there she is. So I can't wait for you guys to meet her. Natalie, if you want to request to join me, otherwise I'll request you. There we go. Now you're in for a treat today. She's an incredible human being, an incredible artist, and oops. Oh, and there she is.
Hello. There I am. And I don't know how to get in.
Oh, I don't know. It was perfect. You're here. It's great. Welcome, Natalie. I'm so excited for you to be here. I can't thank you enough for being a part of this project, being a part of my army of artists, and being so generous with your time. And I think I found also a new friend, which I am so excited because you and I have talked intensely, and I feel very close to you, and I think you will feel very close to a lot of people as well. So thank you for being here, and welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me. I'm grateful to be joining you and honored, and also it's great to be in your army of artists. I love that.
Yes, me too. Yeah. Me too. It's I just saw our friend Paula just joined, and
yeah,
you know, you are so loved and so dear to this community, and you give so much of yourself, of your honest self, and I think that's what people love about you. You just are Natalie, and it comes across as a beautiful person that you are inside and out. So so let's just start from the very beginning. Let's talk a little bit about where you are right now and how was COVID for you?
okay. So I'm in upstate New York, Endicott, New York. The town that I grew up in is Binghamton, New York, most known for carousels and the Twilight Zone. And to give you a reference, most people know Ithaca, New York, because of Cornell and Syracuse. So I'm about an hour out from those places. So that's where I am in upstate New York.
And tell me, yeah, how was COVID for you? Were you able to work? Were you able to, how was that?
So I never stopped art making. I know that it's different for everyone and it has affected people differently. It has affected me because I still work part-time as I try to move into full-time artist coach. So, you know, it was hard in the very beginning, because people were panicking, and that was a hard energy to deal with. Eventually that died down, and then I said, I'm gonna keep making art though. I just have to. I'm like, if this is the Titanic, I'm playing the violin, but my violin is art. I don't know, like, I think it's because, you know, the life I've lived to get back to being the artist that I am, I just didn't want anything to like prevent that journey, even though, you know, it doesn't mean that you don't experience the emotions. It's just art is actually a big reason, like, how I deal with the emotions, you know? So.
And we'll go into that in a little bit. So now, let's go in like your childhood years. Were you like
did you explore art then? Were you interested in the arts? Tell us a little bit about your childhood.
Yeah, so in my childhood, that was kind of tumultuous, but I was always like creative and really sensitive. I didn't know how sensitive I was until years later because I was always taking everything in around me, and that actually makes me the artist that I am, and it kind of enhances that creativity actually. But I came across some things today. I only have a few things, but you know, I was always like creative. I made
Yeah.
that birthday card for my grandma, like when I,
Oh my
and
God, I
then
can't believe you found that.
yeah, and it says, now that you're 59, you're very, very fine. You may have a glass of wine because you're 59.
Oh, I love that. That's so cute. I
I
love
was
that.
like, I also found this thing that I must have made her. It said in this envelope, there's a ticket for one day to have peace and quiet, although I spelled quiet wrong. It says quiet. But so, like, in fifth grade, I won third place for this was a reading contest, and it says, "Take me to your reader." Those are like aliens going to the reader.
Oh my God, I love that. That
So,
is
you know, there's
hilarious.
always been like a humorous side to me, even though I might have not have always seen it because my life trajectory kind of took, you know, twists and turns, just like anyone's life really does, you know. So there was a lot of ups and downs. And I think I gave up on myself a lot of the times when I was younger, you know, just maybe not having the self-esteem and the nurturing that I needed and the support, and then like feeling a lot of doubt around like choosing art. But art was always coming in and out of my life. And then because in my 20s, I went to Binghamton University and did the cinema program there, and that was an experimental film program that they did, which is very artsy and avant-garde and, you know, not the mainstream. So I was never really into the mainstream stuff. I initially went in to the psych program because I was probably trying to figure out myself. And I was doing cinema as like a filler class, and then I just moved my major, you know, into that. But when I got out of there, I did not know what I was going to do with an experimental film degree. So then I just went right into working. You know, I was still really withdrawn and afraid of myself at that time, to like go
Were
out.
you afraid of yourself, of the talent that you had, or were you wondering if you had talent, or why were you in that position?
I think, yeah, I just was afraid to venture outside of even the city. You know, I didn't try to go to a college beyond Binghamton because I was afraid. So I'm like, I'll just do this and stay like in this. And for experimental film, probably really would have needed to go to a bigger city and get like like a mentorship, you know. And I just didn't. Just kind of like giving up on yourself. I don't. That kind of is the theme, but it's the way I was raised. On one level, and there was a lot of healing work to do around that. And then, you know, in my 20s, I kind of took a turn into like abusive relationships and like using drugs, and just I think I was just trying to deal with the childhood stuff. But a friend of mine had taught me how to stretch canvases, and I was like oil painting, but I didn't know what I was doing, you know. But I made all these paintings that I don't have anymore because that was such a strange time. But looking back on it, I realized art was always there, like helping me, like to deal with what was going on, and I was always using it as that emotional tool, even though it might not have been like good, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
So that's,
was that an outlet for you while you were going through this very tough years? Were
I think
you
I didn't realize it, but it was, you know, looking back on it now. And so it's just, where does that take me from now? That's 20s. 30s, you know, stepped on the healing path. It's actually, I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease at 16. and I was on Remicade, but I had like a spiritual vision actually in 2010 while I was receiving that medication. I just saw like a lot of blackness rushing through me, and I knew that was like killing me, but at the same time, my life was not like, it's not like I was healthy in my life, but it's like that was an awakening moment, you know, like stepping on the healing path and then finding alternative energy therapies such as Reiki and shamanism, and really going in an alternative healing direction, which that was my whole 30s, and then really finally getting sober in 2014 completely from everything. So I think in 2015 though, then I would have like this spiral down again, but at the same time I was like opening to something wider, and I was on vacation and I found The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron in a used bookstore, and I don't know, it was something about that timing of it where I went through the whole book and did the whole 12, it's like a 12-week course in a book, and it started to like,
You did the morning pages?
yeah, doing the morning pages, but there's also like 12 weeks of exercises that if you do them, they start to like loosen stuff within you. You know, you have to be honest in answering the questions, though.
Yes, exactly. But you had started that before, because if in 2014 you were totally sober, by that time you had to be honest, right?
Yeah, sobriety does do something to you where you come to a new level of perception because you're not running away with the addictions anymore.
Right,
Although I would
exactly.
say like maybe I spiritually bypassed in my 30s, but I think that's like an immature spirituality. It's almost like a process of growth within that construct. At least that's how I understand it now, looking back on it. And then, yeah, I would hit the hardest time between when I found The Artist's Way and did that. I did do a year of art in 2016, and I was just exploring all sides, and it was, you know, not, I don't know, I don't want to say it's not good, but it was more about the expression and finding myself, and I was going through a big upheaval. And then 2017 was a crazy year, and the end of 2016. There's something about like being led and like opening, and sometimes the universe like gives us these doors or opportunities, and it doesn't always come like
In the
easy.
normal way.
No, and you know, I had a very hard 2017 in the fall, and like at a spiritual retreat. I was like chasing this thing that I thought I was following, and I still believe I was following it, but like all the circumstances within that week, it just left me, you know, you hear retreat stories, sometimes people went too far too fast. That was me. But, you know, so I had a breakdown in a way, but all like, it's like all of those parts in my life were like little breakdowns, like, you know, trying to move away from the abuse, get sober, find the healing path, and then you're always on the path and you're evolving more and more into that. So, you know, 2018, you know, then I found this creative visionary program with Nicholas Wilton. Um,
I just finished that.
yeah. So, you know, I felt like that was such a gift in a way because it like really replaced a lot of 2017, and art making for me is really how I do process my emotions and you know, open up to myself. I just didn't realize like how much I need it in my life until I was going through the program. Like despite learning all that technical stuff, there's still like a huge emotional component that I need that really feeds me. And like I lost my grandfather during that time too, and our cat died in that program, you know, and I was making all these paintings, like just expressing myself just with the emotions. I think that's where the interest for my automatic drawing really comes from, because I wasn't really doing much technical stuff. I was like expressing these things and finding out, oh, nobody's really talking about that side of it or teaching me that. But, you know, that's just developed over time and realizing I need everything kind of. But I do have more of a natural propensity and inclination to go to like intuition and freedom and soul, like, you know.
Yeah. Well, I think
Um,
that, what the program does for all of us is help us just kind of just give us a path mentally of what we want and what we desire and how to get there and be honest with ourselves, but yet be
oh,
able to produce something that has more of the design and the color value basis,
right. And, you
right?
know, I was still like really opening up to myself and like because I had just come out of like that crumbling and then like still grieving and trying to learn and trying to find out like who am I really, but then you realize that only comes the more you work and the more you move through each layer of that process, because I would say I totally had distorted thinking while I was in the program the first year, and then I did it on my own the same year in 2018, and I started to hear it differently, and that's why I kept going back as well, because you keep getting reinforced, not just about like technical things, but about like life things, and that like this is like you know, our right to do this creative
For sure.
act and art,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that also like I feel that like when you go through that, it's a very deep understanding of yourself, and you're trying really hard to understand the path that you're in, and using that um, you know automatic start of a painting, which is the first 20 minutes of the painting, which are the most honest 20 minutes of creating, and then how you finish with your intellect somehow. And it's hard to do. And I know for you
So
and I have talked about this. So I
it's
want you to
funny you
talk
say
about
that
this.
though.
Yeah.
I kind of am like, I think that's why I love the automatic drawing, because I like to leave it right there. But like, it's kind of like what you're not supposed to do. You're supposed to continue on.
I don't think there's rules. I would not agree with you. I think art is what you make of it.
Yeah.
And there are certain things that, they tell you take them or leave them, right? But you have to make them your own. And I think that that's why you're so effective,
I
because
think I
you
love,
stay where you're so true, and you have this like childlike uh way of approaching it without having to deal with the little teeny details of things.
I just like testing myself in the process. Like, ooh, can I leave it there? Can I leave it like that? Ooh, and that's like exciting to me. And you know, you're supposed to be, well, we're calling like follow that feeling. Well, and I think though when it's not the norm, you know, you're like, what do I do with this? This is what excites me, and it's taken me 3 years to trust that.
Well,
I would say like I'm moving into a place like where I feel confident and I could just like be the not just the artist that I am, but the person that I am. Yeah. So
it's
art
taking
making,
you, yeah, for you, I think it's taking you years to get to this point, to understand really who you are and stay true to who you are.
yeah, and really use my voice. And the odd thing is, the more I paint and the more I make each collection, it really helps me come out more into myself. And because I was so shut down and shy and introverted for most of my life, and then like having a deep, soulful, spiritual. Oops.
You're good. I can hear you. You're a little frozen, but I can hear you. I hope you can hear me. Um, no, we're here. We're good. We're good.
Where did I stop?
I don't know what
I feel
happened,
like
but
I was on a roll and it froze.
You're still on a roll. So let's pick it up from where you left. So,
I don't know.
um,
I'm talking about how art making has given me back my voice, my physical voice, because I was so shy, shut down, introvert all my life, and did have a lot of healing to do. But the more I can just express, like on the page, the more I can open up to more me, and the more I learn, because you're gonna always be learning, especially when it comes to technique. And if you want to improve, there's always gonna be that unease because you need to go to the next level within yourself, whether it's in art or life. So each collection that I make, there is like spiritual undertones, and I am deep and I am colorful, and that all comes out, and it's just owning that for me right now is like a huge thing.
and I think also you and I had talked about, comparing yourself to others' work, or looking at somebody's, when you're doing this program, you feel like maybe you're not up to par with some things. And I think moving away from that and knowing that what you're doing is unique and true to yourself is also very helpful. Because when you continually are comparing yourself to somebody else, you're always going to find something better, newer, whatever that is.
I think that's the mindset piece that at least for me, I'm constantly addressing on different levels. And like, I feel like the more I expand, the more I have to address it because just stuff comes up. So it's like constantly being in check with yourself and trying not to look too externally. You want to get inspiration though, right? But you don't want to get it like the jealousy part. And that kind of happens. It's just the nature of it. It's even if you have the best intentions, like it still can occur, but that's when you have to like reevaluate and turn it back to you, like taking responsibility, like what are you doing? And all our journeys are different, and you learn that, in the process. I think too, the more I make art, the more I just learn to trust myself and my own expressions, because it does give me not just a visual language, but like that voice, and it helps me come into myself and like kind of more out in the open. So I always see art as more like a healing tool first.
Yeah, for sure. That's why, when I decided to make this program, it was all about helping people, inspire them and help them at home and give them an hour of just, feeling good about themselves, their art, and learning something, because art is everything. Art can be healing, art can be creative, art can be, beautiful, art can be horrible, art can be everything, like everything.
Yeah, I think so.
mean,
And I have the saying, art is for everyone,
for
because
everyone. I do art sometimes that it's horrible, and I'm like, oh my God, but I'm still there, I'm still showing up, and I'm still doing it, right?
well, it's like the only way you learn though is to make those mistakes. And I see that in my life now. And when you're through something, you can look back on it and be like, okay, that was giving me this gift. Like, for instance, that breakdown in 2017 was really giving me the gift of art and the gift to open more to myself and like not be so much in the victim mode.
So, Natalie, you think in 2017 when you started that, did you also decided to start your Instagram account more on a regular basis? Or when did that happen that you felt comfortable enough that you would start showing your work and be more open?
Yeah, that actually was a gradual thing, and for some reason I chose Instagram because it was easiest visual. I liked it the best out of all the social media. And then I just listened to what Nicholas Wilton said, don't wait, just start going. So I like I kept going with the Instagram, which even when the art wasn't good, you can look back and you could see the progression. I never really deleted that much. I have deleted some because sometimes it's just hard to look back. Also, Betty Frank's art, she said one out of her top 10, post every day. And I'm like, okay, that's what I need to do. So I just took some advice and kept going with the Instagram. But I'm kind of backing off now, doing it every day. It's a little much, you know. And then in the process, I maybe missed some of the engagement that you could be, you know, doing. I just kept posting. But I think, and then I did the 100-day project 2 years in a row. That's like really huge for
Wow.
me. Yeah, because, and I did it in a strange way. Like I just, that's how I came out really. Came out slowly and would make the videos and do the voiceovers because I really wanted to infuse the spiritual aspect of myself and the soulful like words that I have, because that is almost like the automatic drawing, comes natural, you know. And well, I've been afraid of that, you know, and afraid of myself for a long time. But the art like helps influence and aid me into coming more into myself. That's what I love about art making personally, is that you know, you really are tapping into yourself.
Yes, you really are. And like I said, I think morning pages is almost like a meditation that happens every day if you do that. And you know, sometimes you can't even go back and read what you wrote because you're writing so fast. But it is,
Yeah,
yeah, but it
I
is
got
kind of
that
like
one,
a
yeah.
meditation, and you put out in the world what you want it to happen, and when you put that energy out there, somehow it comes back to you.
Yes, I agree. And actually, so when I found CBP, I was also going through like a shamanic program online, and you know, the whole tenet of that is generosity. Like they have something called Ani, which essentially means today for you, tomorrow for me. It's like the gift of reciprocity, right? So that's also too why I wanted to say yes to your program, because I do like giving back through art, and art is really a vehicle of generosity and the gift in the end, which sometimes that gets confusing for me as when I put money into it or whatever, but I'm still working that out over here.
I think it doesn't change. I think that feeling it's mutual for me too. You know, it's always hard to put a number on something that, you know, you just love what you're doing, and so, but that's a whole different monster.
Right. But I think too, this is important for me at least. There's so many internal rewards that we often don't acknowledge. Like art can give me my voice back. I can be angry and express it on the page, like so I can release myself emotionally and energetically. Those are all like really powerful things, but often like misdirected or not even talked about because, you know, it's about the other things, like what, you know what, but it can be, I'm not saying those things are wrong or bad, and it's just, that's, you know, my experience is how much internal
Right,
awareness and
right.
resilience and confidence has happened in the process.
Yes.
And oh, but that's
and
exciting
and
because
the way that you speak about your art, and the way that you, all the videos that you make when you're talking about your work, you express yourself in such a way that it's a perfect connection with your artwork. And that is so important to have, to know how to speak about your art, and to know to connect with your unique, you have of such a unique story. I have a unique story. Every human being has their own stories. And so it's important to connect with that and to be able to express it in a way that makes sense to you.
I agree. And I also think, well, for me, it's important to like share the more honest part of this, and even the struggle or in the challenges, but almost in a like soulful, meditative, like opening way. But I think that's because too I've been through a lot, and I'm also on the other side of a lot, right? So that then becomes like this embodiment.
And that's why you
Um,
can help so many people, because you are on the other side of things now, and you see things more clearly than, you know,
yeah.
7 years ago,
So
for sure.
even in 2018, I was terrified of myself. I would have never, could have never have done this. I mean, I still was nervous getting on here, but not like that, you know. But I would attribute that to the art, and that's why I wouldn't stop during COVID or anything really. Even my dad has just been experiencing poor health declined really rapidly, really fast, and had to be placed in a nursing home. And
I'm sorry.
I'm like, I'm still gonna make the serendipity series. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's weird. Like, I never really chose myself, my whole life, and then having the art, and then there's lost years there of not doing it. So it's just almost trying to make up for lost time and being grateful for the opportunity that it came back around.
And
And
finally being a flower in your garden, have someone else put water on you versus you taking care of everyone else. Now it's your turn to nurture you, to take care of you, to put yourself first. And so I think that has a tremendous amount of weight by doing that, and giving yourself the opportunity to even think of not working in your other job and transferring into a full-time artist and coach. So that has, a lot of courage and a lot of work to get to where you are.
Yeah.
So, okay. So we're gonna go, and you're gonna take us in a little tour of your home studio, which we're so excited. So here we go.
How do I flip it around?
There's that little, yeah. Perfect.
All right. I'll go to the automatic drawing wall first, I guess.
Great.
So we put up this wall. Actually, this used to be all canvases here. We put an industrial rack in my living room, and all the large canvases are on that now. So I made this wall just for you.
I can see that. I'm like, well, that wasn't there 2 days ago.
And then I hung up a bunch of the drawings, you know what's great? It's great that you invited me on. This is a piece I had a meltdown actually after I made that. I'll just be honest, because I do want to work larger, and I don't know, there was something about that, and then I had a meltdown, and then I'm like, I need a wall. So, and then you invited me on. It just happened to be that I could get it all in place.
The stars align, my friend.
So I am expanding in my own way. This is a good thing to tell beginners, or you have to use what you have and start where you are. And art is in the heart. It's not really in the space. The space helps, but you know what I mean? I don't know.
I love seeing them all together, Natalie. What do you think when you see that? What reaction do you have for them?
Oh, I think overall it's just that's emotion and that's expression and it's honest,
I agree.
and although that maybe someone could say it's not much, but it is a lot. So because
definitely, I wouldn't say it's not much. I think it has so much. It's so rich. You have the line making, it's mark making, but the lines that you have are so strong, and you kind of balance each one of them without even knowing that what you're doing is really great. I mean, that's the beauty of it.
Having more technical training, through CVP and the intuition, it's been a work in progress to be able to be intuitive and stay in that freedom and flow and still think maybe technically, but those two things are.
What materials do you use for that? And is that cheap paper, or what kind of
This
paper is
is actually cheap paper. It's just actually this Finch color copy paper.
Oh yeah.
Which is basically a guy that I used to work with. He was in a print shop, and they used to print book covers with all different kinds of paper like that, and it was a gift, so that's 11 by 17, and then I just rip them into
yeah.
I have
I love that.
some examples of just that. I'll do that with regular paper too, maybe just rip it.
Is it heavy? Is it a heavy kind of paper or not really?
I mean, this isn't probably going to be archival or anything. It's not. So there's, in regards to paper, there's this, what is it? Jack Richardson. That's like 135.
Watercolor? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
135
Yeah.
pound. I sometimes work on that.
Okay.
That's acid free and everything, so you can get that cheap on Dick Blick and stuff. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
um, those are actually, I use that smaller paper for some of them, you know.
Yeah, that's
And
awesome.
where should I go next? I
Show
could,
us your wall where you have all your paintings, your
I,
wood, yeah, your
yeah.
wood panels. There we go. Yep.
So, this is the newest collection, the Serendipity series. It's a small work summer collection.
Why did you name it
Uh,
Serendipity?
oh, serendipity, because it's like an aptitude for making just a mark in the moment or something. Like it has that resonance of you just show up to the moment and like let it be.
Are they on wood panels or what are they?
These are the 12-inch by 12-inch are on wood panels, and the 8-inch by 8-inch are on wood panels. And
And
then
and then you buy the
uh,
floating frame separately?
I did buy the frames separately. And the 8 by 10 are on canvas.
Okay, so let's just focus on choose one and let's just focus
Mhm.
on one that you want to
Okay.
talk about.
Um,
Is that hard to do?
it's- this one's called Wild Child.
Okay, so
Like,
I mean, I think that again, you have the geometric forms, but more looser there. But the way that you put your marks on paper or canvas or wood is just so free to me. And there is something to say about that freedom that you have, that you're not so concerned, I don't think, because it is so I really love the end execution of
oh,
it because you
well, I
stay
can
in that
speak.
moment.
Yeah, I could speak to that. So,
Yeah.
because I have a spiritual side and that raw, primal, energetic, childlike side, I was having a conflict in art making, trying to merge the sides and also in life. Like, because I thought it could only be like one way. It was just in my immaturity, kind of in like knowing what I could do, and also my fear a little bit. So
Hmm.
it's taken a while to learn technical skills, and also I knew I wanted to keep the freedom. But I thought if I had to be linear, that I would lose the freedom. So it's been my challenge actually to learn like real technical things and retain that. I it's hard to
Yeah.
explain, but of the automatic drawings because that's it's like coming back into this work, and then these are more layered and thought out, and there's collage and but it's like for instance that white mark, it's just drawing it on and leaving it. There's an excitement and energy in that for me, even just saying it.
That's what I
Um,
feel. I'm excited to see this work. It's fresh. You know what I mean? It's just fresh and unapologetic and there's something to say about that. Like I'm here and this is me. And take it or
it's
leave it kind of
funny
thing.
because I think the work is trying to like tell me that it's okay to be me, you
Oh
know.
yeah. Oh yeah. Please don't change that.
And it's
I mean,
also
try to understand what you want to understand, but don't lose um, your freedom, your inner child, your automatic drawing marks, because it's coming from a really honest place, and I can really take that in, and like I said, I love the freshness of it.
yeah, so like this, maybe you could even argue that maybe it's too much going on, but I think that's also been my other biggest journey, is to like leave it where it is, because I am relatively new and like I haven't made so many collections really. Um, I just am like, I remember looking at Nicholas Wilton, or he talked about an old painting, and it like dawned on me, and like, oh, there is a trajectory to this thing, so I gotta just let it be what it wants to be in the moment. And that's what I love about automatic drawing too, because you can really just let it be, because that's the point.
I love that. I mean, you have like little doors and homes in a way that they come out. So it's like a window, and I don't know if it's a window going backwards or forward or in the present, and you can have so much conversations with your pieces. So that is so effective.
Oh, thanks. It's funny, there's this quote over here. In the universe, there are things that are known and things that are unknown, and in between there are doors. That actually was what was inspiring this collection.
I didn't know that, guys. I promise you, I did not see that before.
That's William. But so that's the thing about inspiration, right? It can come in a quote, it can come in a moment, it can come in a color.
Sure.
It can be simple, and then it's like getting closer to what you love over time. That takes time, not to be, but it really does, because you open up more to yourself and you become more intimate in the process, with yourself. And that could be scary because there's
100%.
vulnerability there.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. Agreed. 100%.
so I don't know.
And
This
you
is
put
just
that
like,
that wall. Can we just talk about your
oh,
wall?
yeah.
Did you add that wall to the bedroom or wherever you are?
Well, I'm actually, so this is an apartment and this is a porch studio.
Oh, perfect.
Like
Look at,
I do have
look at your
the
green. Oh
the
my
luxury
gosh.
of windows and stuff. It's only about 150 square feet, but it's working with what I have. Art is all over.
Yeah, you've made it work. And I like
um,
that wall because it you can put so many paintings on it.
yeah, that's from afar, and
Yeah,
now
wow.
I got a new wall too.
I
That's
know,
exciting.
and that is so exciting. I love that language. It's like a dictionary to me.
And then these are like last year's Small Works collection. It was called the Radiate Collection. They were supposed to not be in frames, and they're on these metal stands. I set this up. It's not normally over here.
I love them. Wow.
um, this is, there. I think every collection tells a story, and I mean, I could talk about it, but it's like when you look at it and are with it, and then even if you read the titles, that's another underlayer. I like that hidden meaning. I like the idea of these small paintings because you could tuck them away. It's not about being the main thing, but it's about being the hidden thing that, if you come across, like
Wow. Ooh, I
that could
love
be.
that. Oh,
So now
what is the title of that one?
that was called Magic Moments.
Hmm. It is
Yeah.
looks like magic. It's so
Yeah,
cool.
so I could go closer. Symbols is coming in for me, and like I'm just going with what happens, and that's been an ongoing process. I feel like the more I opened myself spiritually and energetically, the more things kind of like come through.
I
But I mean,
agree.
it's still a mystery to me, and it's still unknown. But I do know that my story has kind of been leading me to like spirituality and like being more soulful, and sharing in that experience. So see kind of it as like, I'm channeling this stuff sometimes.
Yeah,
um,
exactly. Exactly.
but I mean, we probably all are, but not everyone's going to resonate with that term, right? But I just resonate with that, what I just said.
Do you start with a title or do you give it the title when you're done, or how does your mind work regarding
Ooh,
that?
it's starting to rain here. So I don't really start with a title. It usually like will speak to me more, and it doesn't always happen that way. Sometimes I consult the thesaurus, you know, or a song lyric, or a it's
Yeah.
not, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
some things like, um, I don't know, what was this one called? Sorry, I can't remember all the
What
time.
about your color palette? Do you know what you're going to use, or do you go with the flow and whatever speaks to you?
You know, that's not pre-planned, and that just happens on its own. You know, I would say a lot of some of the colors are more like sky colors to me. Like, I love the in-between times, like sunrise and sunset, and the way the light changes within those scopes of time.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I feel like those kind of colors come through, like different kind of sky colors. Um, Color in general, like I definitely don't think I think I won't shy away from it. These are some larger 24 by 24 panels that are in process right now. So
And what are
yeah.
you have the materials out there so you can show us what
Oh
you
yeah,
use?
sorry.
No, no, sorry.
I,
It's
I
all
don't-
good.
um I like soft pastels a lot. This is a more expensive brand. The other thing I like to be able to do and tell people is like, oh, this is a good expensive brand, but this is a good, like, cheaper brand. This is just
Yeah.
called COS. Um,
Oh, where do you find that one?
that's on Amazon.
Okay.
Initially, my partner had a really old set of them. This is a newer set, but I finally found them
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I like about them is they don't really fall apart because I'm kind of vigorous.
I know.
Um, these poor Jacksons are great, but they're very soft, so if you're vigorous, they wear down
They were down
fast.
fast. Very fast, actually.
Yeah, can they just make them longer
I
anyway?
know, exactly, right?
They're,
Please.
they're, but they are nice. They're nice. And then everyone loves the Neo colors, the Caran d'Ache.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that set's been used.
Oh, that has been used, my friend.
Yeah, so here's a fun side project. Just take your random bits and start with those. That's always fun to do. I like doing that
Yeah.
because you can't like control what's in there.
Right.
You're just you can dump it out, but you're at the luxury or like at the expense of what's in there.
Yeah.
Vaseline, do you know about that?
No.
Neither did I until like recently somewhere on YouTube, and I don't remember how I came across it was a guy, but if you want to save like yeah, this piece of writing, I wanted
Yeah.
to save that, but cover it all over with the green color. You put the Vaseline over the part you want to save,
Oh,
and then you paint over it, and then
because
you
it's
just wipe.
oil. Right.
Yeah.
Oh my
So I
God, what a
put it in
great
my
tip.
I put it in my favorite. I was just gonna try to do a demo with it. It's new to me. It worked on my one piece. I don't know if it will work over
Well, we
there,
can
but
certainly try it.
and then these are clay tools. So, because I like the wood panel, and
To
I
carve
actually
into them.
yeah, but paper, this paper and like even 140-pound acid-free paper, it doesn't matter like the brand really. You can be really Paper's resilient, and that's why I love working on it because you can use these tools. You just can't get the same effect maybe scraping through wood. But
Yeah, you can scrape through paint, but not through the paper.
yeah, like I definitely like to do that, dig through or whatever, carve into it. It's something almost like making a relic or an artifact.
A hundred
Um,
percent.
yeah,
It
I
gives it
really.
the history, the richness of it. It just, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I love like ripping through and like finding the happy accident in there because you can't control that. Um,
Right. That is
there
so
might
true.
be. Yeah. What else? This brayer. I like using deli paper. Use that. Maybe Jane Davies uses that. I don't know. Um, that's good for like paint. I would have to show you what to do with that. This is trim paper from the hardware store. I love that.
Yeah, I
Um,
love that. It's
I
like
use
craft
that.
paper. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So they call it. And then I use a water bath. What I love about the trim paper or craft paper or the deli paper, you can let it soak in the water and then it kind of lays on like a skin.
Correct. And
Uh,
it's just so you paint on it and then you leave it on the tray with water.
Actually, these are papers that I've used in the process of making other paintings, and then I rip up and use them as collage, and they're kind of like, it's like a cycle of working. It's a weird way to work, I think. It's not like I sat down and made collage papers. Like I made paintings and then get the
Right.
paper by lifting the paint. And lately, though, I have been like drawing onto them more. Drawing has been something new. Like for me, we have the experimental drawing club, me and Sally and Ashley. But
Yes. Which I love
that
Sally and Ashley. She was with
yeah,
me last week, you guys.
that's like something that kind of spawned these. Um, but I was doing that before, just really exploring like how do you find your own shapes and whatnot, you know?
And on the
So
deli paper, you can, I mean, you can use it as a collage. You can collage that into whatever you're using. So it's brilliant. It's a great way to use that paper.
yeah, like this would just be obviously you'd use medium.
Right.
But yeah,
Exactly.
it's very nice.
It
And
is.
what's cool is some of these lines in this work is the deli paper.
And you
But you
can't
can't.
even see the deli
I
paper.
know. I
So
love
that's
it.
the
Oh, I
beauty
got
of it.
excited. You can kind of tell here maybe.
Yeah,
But
but usually it's like it's
what
magic
about
because
right
it
there?
kind of disappears depending on what you do with it, but
Yeah,
it's
so
very
that
cool.
is deli
Yeah, I
paper
love
right
that.
there.
I
I
love
know.
that.
Oh,
It
I mean,
creates a whole different, beast inside of your painting, which is a great thing to
yeah.
have, you know?
And like I tried to give up collage, but I just love it because it does help me see, like say, when you're talking about add the contrast or add the extra element. And it's becoming more, I guess,
Why did
developed, I
you try
think.
to give it up?
Oh, because, I'm like, am I just using this as a default? Or, questioning myself. I'm not really a painter if I'm using all the
That's
stuff you
not
might
true. Yes.
tell yourself.
No, no,
But
no.
even the raw expressive marks, like this can't be that emotional.
Exactly.
The kind of stuff we say to stop us from doing the thing we really want to do.
So let's
But
go
that,
and why don't you show us the ones that you have that you're donating today? So you guys, we are so fortunate because Natalie is donating two of her original paintings, and we're asking $250 for each one of them. Um, you can talk about how you paint them together, but we can either sell them together or separately.
oh yeah.
Remember that all the proceeds go to Feeding America. So for $250 each, you will be helping 2,500 meals for people in need. 100%, again, 100% of proceeds will go to Feeding America. So please consider buying art today and helping people that really need your help. And you will get this beautiful original piece of artwork by Natalie. And so you can DM me or Natalie, and we will give you instructions on how to make the payment. But it's super easy. Natalie will send you this to your home, and you will be helping so many people in need. So please, please consider buying this today.
All
Do you want to
right.
say
Okay.
something about
Oh,
that?
sure. Yeah. So I titled these Grace and Gratitude. This is Grace. I was telling Sandra in an email last night that I'm like, what do we need on the creative journey the most? Like the artist journey is grace and gratitude, right? Or at least that's how I was feeling. And also what happens like when you're making your creative endeavors. In order to like go on, you sometimes need, that first to remember like why, the important part like why you're doing it, just because you have the opportunity to do it. You know, we have the ability to choose in the moment, you know, to create something, you know, that's cool.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
this is gratitude. And sometimes I forget too, right? So they're like little reminders. I guess all these paintings really are that, and it's like a reflection back. Um, but I made these specifically for this, uh, the Tap into Creativity program, along with the Serendipity series. So it does have some of the same kind of elements like within this collection. And this shape is always coming in strong for me since 6 months ago. And
Yeah,
I
I can see
feel
that repetition a little bit, but
yeah. So
yeah.
that's the other thing, great thing about your automatic drawing or, you know, a regular practice is you are going to start to uncover your own visual language in the process, and it's going to keep appearing more and more and more. And I think as you get, at least in my experience, as I get more confident, I am just like, I'm risking more.
That little pink in there is so effective. It's just radiates there. It's just gorgeous. And
Thanks.
so grace and gratitude, guys, this is what we are. Um, they are just beautiful. So if you would like to purchase them today, 250 each, and you will be helping so many people. Natalie, will you show me your face?
Oh, yeah. Turn it
Because
around.
we only have like 4 minutes left. Can you believe it?
Oops. No.
I know, me neither. There's so much to talk about
I
still.
could probably talk for 2 hours now that I got going.
I know, I know. We'll have to do a part two, Natalie. I've done that with many artists. When we don't finish, we'll have to do a part two. But if you guys have any questions for Natalie, this is a perfect time to ask. But I have to say, I feel so proud of you and of who you are and how far you've come in your life, in your professional, artistic self. And I hope they stay. I said, if you can stay positive and true to yourself and never lose that, because you have all that in front of you, inside of you, and I just don't ever want you to lose that.
Yeah, I don't, thank you. I don't think I will now. It's just a slow emergence, you know. But now it feels, the more I work, the more I feel like, yes, this is the way, you know.
Yes, yes. See, someone said your marks and they're so free and they, it's just so great. And people, Robin, my friend Robin is here. Oh my gosh,
Oh,
yeah.
I love Robin. We
Yes,
do similar things,
yes.
like
Yeah.
she collects her stuff in a little bin and brings it over. I do that too.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. And Paula is a good friend of both of ours. I mean, all these
Yeah.
people are my army of artists. So, yeah, I'm so excited about our friendship and our continuing, talks. And maybe we'll have a part two, like I said, and maybe we'll bring in Sally and Robin. We'll have a foursome on this
Ooh.
Instagram, and that will be really fun. So, thank
All
you
right.
everyone for joining us today, and hopefully, you are considering buying Grace and Gratitude today, because that's exactly how I feel. So, thank you so much, my dear
Thank
friend
you. Thank
Natalie.
you for
Thank you for
having me.
joining us, and we'll see everyone next Saturday. Take care, everyone. Have a great 4th of July. Stay safe. Bye, Natalie. Mwah.
Bye. Bye, Sandra.